let's mix no words about it, and we're not going to mix any words about it. Um, the reason that this breed is screwed up, and y'all have heard me go on these tangents before, but I get to sort of similar questions, so it is what it is. Let's just be realistic. When the ABKC was started, when we started the ABKC, there never should have been another registry. If there was another registry, it should have just came down the line and followed our suit and said, you know what, we just gonna be our own little thing, but we doing what y'all do. And I'm gonna tell you, with the ABKC, it really follows. It falls firsthand right there in the lap of the ABKC. Everything that's wrong with this breed. Many of you have asked, why do we talk about DNA testing? Why is it that the ABKC doesn't do DNA testing mandatory and hold people to it? Well, I'm gonna tell you like this. This is the problem. The ABKC in itself has had issues, and this is factual. Check it out. And y'all heard me talk about this on another one, but this is factual. You've got Dave Wilson, and he's doing his own thing. It's not about the breed, it's about Dave Wilson. He's pushing Bashar's dogs. He basically canceled out the real Razor's Edge, and he's, only thing he is Razor's Edge by name. That's it. You look at the dogs, and that's a whole different story. Y'all have to look at another video how I tell y'all he really didn't produce, 90% of the dogs that's claimed as Razor's Edge dogs. But he turned him more into a businessman and less of a dog man, if a dog man at all. And by, y'all know all the issues that came along with Bashar, and, y'all seen the videos of the conditions of his dogs and all of the accusations about his dogs, pedigrees, and the steroid use. And we can go on for days, but this video is not about him. Well, the problem comes in with the registry is that the reason there has never been any real DNA testing with that registry is because they're in cahoots. You know what I mean? They are in cahoots. They understand, and they know for a fact that this is a death pill to the ABKC's institution if DNA testing is allowed. It would be a death pill to basically all registries who follow the ABKC format. The reason being is I've told y'all about the multi-millionaire, superstar Nan Bai, from China. And if I mispronounce your name, brother, I do it to everybody, so I apologize. But he's a straight up dude, man. I've seen the work that he's tried to do. He actually cares about the breed. He's done some solid things with people. And the one thing that he tried to do is he tried to establish paternity on a lot of the dogs. He paid a ton of money for Magoo. When I tell y'all a ton of money, rumored to be at anywhere from $500,000 to $600,000, So the man ain't hurting for money. And he wanted to, solidify the paternity of some of Magoo's children. So he reached out to people. And he had the test done individually. And these tests he had done individually where, of course, he owns Magoo now. So he had samples from Magoo, and he had samples from Magoo children. Well, he sent them to an independent lab. Just so happens he sent them to another independent lab. The other independent lab happens to be the same lab that the ABKC uses. Now, as these results started to come in, there were, of course, results that said that there was no way that Magoo was the father of these puppies. When this point was raised to the ABKC, they said, no, you have to do the test with us. Our results says that this is a legitimate test. Magoo is the father. So the argument was raised to the ABKC, well, how is it that your test says that Magoo is the father? I used the exact same lab that y'all used on one of my independent testing, and that same lab is telling me that there's no way. So you got three different testings, but actually two of them is going through the same lab. Two of the results say that these puppies don't belong to him, but somehow when the ABKC gets their hands on them, oh yeah, the test is legitimate. Well, let us see the testing. Let us see the results that they sent you. We can't do that because it's confidential. Well, considering that, the dog that Dave promotes as his dog, which is a dog off of Magoo, Demon Boy, is directly connected to Bashar, who Bashar still owns stud rights to the dog, and they've done multiple other business things together. And yes, y'all see Bashar strutting around the ring at nationals, and he's a celebrity in there. It just lets you know that this registry is more about, protecting certain people and doing things not the right way. Now I'm using that as an example, but I'm quite certain that several other very, very big name dogs, very, very other big name dogs, huge name dogs in this registry, it's the same thing. You do the DNA test, they will fail it. You do the DNA test, they will fail it. A lot of these dogs that you've seen, these guys are $10,000 studs and all of this shit. They will fail the DNA test on their puppies. Some of these dogs have been later to be found out to be totally sterile. They will fail the DNA test on their puppies. This is one of the reasons why a lot of those dogs don't even have DNA profiles. And when you have somebody who's willing to go along with this the whole way, all day, every day, it becomes an issue. It becomes a huge issue. That's why I believe we're going to see a very big year of turmoil with the TBKC, or during this relaunch as we start to test dogs, because a lot of these dogs won't match up. Y'all see me talk about how, even in my own program, I'm doing further and further testing on different parts of the dogs. But this amount of testing that we're coming to do, it's going to cause trouble, because I'm willing to bet, and some of y'all don't know this, but do the research as to why everybody said that, oh, this person was kicked out for this and this person was kicked out for that. I'm going to tell you something about the UKC rules, and I'm not trying to slander the dead or anything like that, but I'll just tell you this. In the UKC, breeding a dog a lot does not get you banned as a breeder. Breeding a dog that, that doesn't fit the dog standard does not get you banned as a breeder. They'll stop that dog, but they don't, it's almost unheard of. Oh, he breeds a lot, let's kick him out. No, that's not what they do. I've dealt with them for a lot of years. That's not what they do. I know some breeders who, they pumping out damn near 200 puppies, 300 puppies a year and applying with the UKC, and they're not getting kicked out. So when you wonder what actually was going on in the UKC with Dax, and why he was banned and his owner was banned, it's some real answers there. I know the answers. I'm not gonna go into further and further detail with those answers, but I'll tell you one thing. It wasn't just because he had a bunch of puppies. Believe that. It's plenty of dogs in the UKC that have had a bunch of puppies. There's plenty of dogs who still pumping a bunch of puppies through the UKC. There's plenty of dogs who have dogs that don't fit the standard, that they have decided to pull the papers on that dog because they're like, that's not gonna cut it. And we'll pull the papers on the dog, and the owners didn't get banned. That's damn near half for the American bully community. They got pit bull papers. That would, So y'all can believe what y'all want to believe, but I'm telling you, it's always been a big ass conspiracy from the top. A bunch of paper hanging, a bunch of false pedigrees. The ABKC is not only complicit in it, they promote the shit, because they've known dogs like Mr. Beans. A lot of these dogs, it's a bunch of hung paperwork, and they promoted it, they've hid it, they've had test results to show it. Look at the amount of dogs in the ABKC. If you look at pedigrees, I'll tell y'all one more instance that you explain this. 2 different litters. This, and John Easterly was in the middle of this, and he was laughing at him. You had a bitch, right? She has 1 puppy. Well, let's say 1 litter. She has 1 litter that's registered. 3 months later, she has a second litter that's registered.